In the last video about this iFlight Turbobee, I had the 4200 kV 4S variant of this quad, and I made some predictions about the other versions of this quad based on the performance of that one. Some of the people objected to my predictions and said that I would actually like the 1103 10,000 kV 2S version a lot. And so I said I would pick it up, give it a whirl, and see if my predictions were accurate and what I think about it. So this is what that is. This is the, many weeks later, that's how long it took to come. This is the 2S 1103 10,000 kV variant of that product. And this is intended for 2S. And my prediction was that 1103 10,000 kV on a 65mm prop, which is a very low load prop. And note that I'm also using the HQ 65mm prop, which is a particularly low load prop. It's a very low load prop. My prediction was that it's just going to be too many amps, too much for a 2S battery that's of reasonable size, and for the ESC, and it's going to put undue stress on the ESC. So how did it actually perform? It performed, I mean, I hate to say it, I was accurate in my prediction because we have done this before. We have made this mistake of running too high kV on motors, so that's how I know that it was not good. Motors, from motor to motor, the actual manufacturing of the motor and the construction of the motor is incredibly important, and it really does make a huge difference. However, for the most part, any well-made 1103 motor, which this is what it is. It's a pretty well-made 1103. It performs well. The kV being this high is a little bit much for a 2S battery. Now this is a 2S 450 milliamp GNB battery. This battery has exactly 3 charge cycles on it, and it's the freshest 2S battery that I have with the best performance. And I wouldn't recommend running a 600 milliamp battery on this thing because the all-up weight is already a little bit higher than I'd like it to be. It's well past 80 grams. Well past 80 grams. I forgot what it was, but well past 80 grams with all this TPU stuff and everything on top of it. It's no longer a very lightweight quad. And when you do pass about 72, 73 grams, it does start affecting the performance quite a bit on these 65mm twin blade props. So this thing with this setup, again, note that this HQ prop is a very low load 65mm prop. It's a very low load prop. I started getting battery voltage warnings at 1 minute, right around 1 minute. In about 2 minutes, it was done. Now the battery, when I tested the voltage, came down at 3.8 volts. And in the OSD, it said that it was much lower. Like, this is just grossly too much kV for this status of a quad. What really needs to happen to make this thing fly exceptionally well is that the weight needs to go down and the kV also needs to go down with it while the battery size stays the same. Now, all that being said, I actually don't think this is a bad quad. I actually think this is a really cool quad. I mean, look at the design. It looks freaking awesome. Really beautiful design. Really nice looking thing. The ESC stack does perform surprisingly well as also. The pins between the boards is not appreciated and is still there, unfortunately, but the ESC board is updated. It's the updated version, and it performs really well for being such a tiny little board and putting so much darn load on that tiny little board. Another thing I would note is that this is using the EOS 2 camera from Caddx, and this camera has 2 variations. It's got a 16:9 and a 4:3 variation. Neither one of those are actually what they say they are. The 16:9 is not actually 16:9, it's narrower than 16:9, and the 4:3 is not actually 4:3, it's wider than 16:9. They're not the same, they are a little different, but neither one actually is what it says it is. It's just one of those quirks about Caddx cameras. I'll leave it at that. Anyways, I do think this is a good product. Or it's a nice product, it's something that I think is cool, but I think there are better options if you're looking for something that's good performance. If you're looking for this kind of a quad and you're okay with 2-minute flight times and yeah, that's about it, this is great because it looks awesome and it's a really well-made quad and the stack is beautiful and everything is beautiful and it's great. It's just that it's not quite set up as optimally as I prefer it to be, and I'm extremely picky about the things I put on my quads and how I build my quads. Super picky. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. So it's a neat little quad. I think the design is awesome. Whoever designed this thing, kudos. You did a great job. However, the weight is a little bit too high, unfortunately. Floss your teeth. Take care. Bye-bye.